what we did yesterday or before yesterday or even on Monday.
That's rough, man.
I know.
So what we're gonna look at today is midpoint and distance. Make sure you got headphones out. Thank you. And you will need Desmos today, so make sure you got Desmos going on your Chromebook. So help me if I see YouTube. I'll snatch that right up.
Coin Hub.
Okay. So we're gonna start by finding the distance. And the reason we did our warm-up was finding slope is because finding distance works really similar to finding slope. So my distance formula is this big formula right here. The distance equals square root, and then inside there, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared.
Did we do this last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did this last year. Yeah.
Why are you complaining?
Just asking. Yeah, question.
I don't know, probably.
Probably.
I don't have these memorized, believe it or not.
That's
But
sad.
you probably did do something like this last year.
We did do this last year.
Actually, we might be reviewing this so we can actually use it tomorrow. So today, we're just going to do the formula. We're going to do distance and midpoint. Tomorrow, we're going to use it to classify shapes. So we're going to say, oh, this is a rectangle, or this is a rhombus, or whatever. So we're getting this started. So it'll be pretty easy today because we're just doing formula stuff. And then tomorrow, we're going to start. So if you did it last year, great. You are already on a head start. So my distance formula is this thing right here. And just like when we do slope, like we did in our warm-up, all we need to do is fill in x1 and y1. So I have x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to fill in my formula up here and start to calculate it. So I got a big square root. Terrible square root, but I'm going to go with it. And then I'm going to go x2 is 6 minus x1 is 3. In parentheses, and then I'm going to go squared outside of it, plus parentheses, y2 is, oh no, I was wrong. I accidentally put in y2, not x2. Saved it. Sorry, x2 was negative 2. There we go. Minus 3. So I accidentally did y2, not x2. Not bad. Alright, and then y2 is 6 now. Minus y1 is 4. Parentheses squared. And we're going to go through and we're going to calculate this. You could plug the whole thing into Desmos, but since everybody's already done that, I guess we'll do that. I'm going to take it as steps, but let's just plug it into Desmos. Alright, so let me get rid of this extra stuff. Find your table, I don't need you anymore. Alright, so in Desmos, if we're going to plug the whole thing in, we're going to go square root, and then inside there, put a parentheses, and then let's see, it's negative 2 minus 3.
No.
So, missed it. Negative 2 minus 3. Outside this parentheses are going to go squared. And then plus parentheses 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4. Outside parentheses. Oh no! Back. Damn it. Forward. Garbage.
Back.
That sucks.
Oh. Ah, I saved it.
Oh! Go here.
Garbage. Thanks, Caleb. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to do more arrows here. I'm not going to try to click.
And boom.
Alright.
5.4
That was
because you
rough.
rounded up.
Alright, and we get 5.385.
4.
So on today's, especially on distance, you usually get decimals. Not always, but usually. So if you get decimals, round it to the nearest hundredth, which is the second decimal place. This is 0.385, which means after I round it, 0.39. Since the 5 rounds the 8 up to a 9. It's 5.39.
Well,
So I plug this whole thing in, and I get my distance equals 5.39. And decimals is kind of nice, because now that we have the formula set up once, really all we need to do is replace numbers inside these parentheses. So, like for my next problem, I can just kind of delete some of these. And just save it for my next one.
Oh, God damn it.
Which is one of the reasons I really like Desmos, because it's a little easier to use. If we had those other calculators we did last year, they would have been really annoying because you'd have to type it in every time. So let's do some random numbers here. Let's do... Alright, you guys have done this before. You want to practice one together, or you want to try it on your own?
Try it on our own. I feel like it's easier. Yeah.
Alright, well, let's do it. So try it on your own as an in-class problem. Yeah, that'll work. So try it on your own as an in-class problem, and I want you to fill out the square root. So give me the square root, then give me your final answer. So your formula, just so you have it on here, is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Make sure it is in there. So I want you to give me the whole square root, then give me your final answer. Really, Nick? Not gonna do it yourself. What? I'll give you about a minute. Finish it off. I should probably do this too, so I can make sure when you give me your answer, you're right. You guys are kind of.
I got 8.
Desmos makes you guys lazy. Back when I was in school and I learned this, I made a little program on my calculator to calculate this because I got tired of plugging it in.
You're the one that wants us to use Desmos, though.
Yeah, it's easy.
Wow.
7 minus 8.
Hypocrite.
You may as well just use it. It's nice and easy, man. Plus.
Hypocrite.
Alright. Okay, so let me see. We're gonna have.
Ryan.
Come on. How many people we got here? 9? 9 today. Number 7. Caleb, what's our formula gonna look like after we put in numbers? So we got square root and then parentheses, right?
7 minus 8.
7 minus 8, yep. Make sure you're right, okay? Then,
Squared
yep.
plus
Oh, I messed this up.
Okay.
Oh
0
my
minus
god.
4.
Perfect.
Whoops.
And then can't forget that last squared, alright? And then when we actually calculate that, what do you get, Kylie?
4.12.
Yep, 4.12. So the distance between these, 4.12.
Burpee?
Yeah.
I set it up, but it's giving me a different answer.
Alright, that's fine.
What are you
This is squared or something.
I messed it up.
Oh, I see.
Did you write down what I said? No.
The square root
Okay, thank goodness.
accidentally only over
I
this
messed
first
it
part.
up.
You want it to be over everything. So. Now go plus.
Okay, oh, that's because I hit.
Yeah,
I
you
hit
accidentally.
space.
Yeah, you accidentally put a space. So be careful. Make sure your square root is over everything, not just a little piece, but everything. So yeah. So just you had it in right. You just accidentally put that space in there. No biggie. That's why we're practicing. All right. So we found the distance. We're also going to find a midpoint, which is a little easier than distance, I think. So we're going to find the midpoint between 2 points, and we're going to use this midpoint formula. So you guys remember back when we did like orthocenter and centroid and stuff, and you had to find the middle of a side? You could have used this midpoint formula if I would have made you, but I didn't because it was already a lot of work. But this is finding the middle of sides, especially of like triangles that really aren't nice and on like straight up and down or left and right. You can use midpoint formula to find the middle. So it is, for midpoint I need 2 things. I need an X middle and a Y middle, basically. So my answer for midpoint is always going to be, in parentheses, X comma Y, like this. So don't just give me an X, don't just give me a Y, put them together in a final answer. So just like last time, I have X1, Y1, X2, Y2. I'm going to fill them in up here, and we're going to solve it. So for my X, I'm going to go X1 plus X2, so 3 plus negative 2, and then it's divided by 2. It will always be divided by 2 on midpoint. So that's for my X's. For my Y's, I'm going to go 4 plus 6 divided by 2. And I'm just going to go through and calculate both of these. 3 plus negative 2 is 1. I have 1 divided by 2. And let's get decimals today. What's 1/2?
0.5.
0.5. Pretty sure you guys knew that one. And I'll put a little separator in here so it doesn't look quite so messy. Then I'm going to go 4 plus 6 on top there. It's 10 divided by 2. So the middle between these 2 points is, even though I did all the work, I have to make my actual answer as x comma y. So it is 0.5 comma 5. And make sure you put these in the right order. It's always the x first and then the y. So my x's, when I plug those in, I got 0.5. When I did my y's, I got 0.5. So it's not super tough, you just got to make sure they're in the right order. Alright, well, you want to practice one together? You want to try it on your own?
What was that sign
You
for?
guys weren't so good at this. I would actually teach longer if you did that about myself.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, you gotta be so smart. Just do it the first time.
I'm not smart. You could help me, Golky.
Yeah.
Golky, I'm not that smart. You could help me.
Too. You're
No, I'm
lazy.
not.
That's your problem.
I don't even remember like what we did on 10. I'm still stuck on that first homework of this week. Truthfully.
Yeah.
And I need help on it.
We'll have time today. It's like. All right. So on your own, find the midpoint between these 2 points. So fill in your formula. Solve it, and remember your answer needs to be an x comma y for your final answer. I'll give you a minute or two, and we'll go over it. You guys are doing too good at this. I might have to combine my part 1 and part 2 next year. Well, I don't know. Those freshmen might need 2 days for this one.
I think I messed up.
Oh, talking to myself. Just excited that you guys are so good at this.
Ha! Ha! No, it's just plain luck for me. Instinct. Just nothing but instinct.
So you're good at this, you're saying?
No.
That's what you're saying. You're saying
My
you're
brain's
saying
not
you're
good at
inherently
it, but
good
my
at
body
this.
just... Yeah, I guess.
Calculus or pre-calculus class?
Not at this point, because we've never had enough people to justify it. Like, I've never had more than 1 person. So if, like, 5 or 6 of you guys want to do that, we can figure it out.
Wait, is this like supposed to be like
Have you
this?
had one person try to do it?
The first year I was here, we had 3 people try to do it, but only 1 person showed up.
Was it supposed to be like
So
this?
we said it's not worth it.
Like that, right? Alright, cool.
Alright, let's go over this. Alright, Brian.
Ooh,
Okay,
cool.
what's this first gonna look like when I actually start plugging in numbers?
2 minus 1, right? Over 2? Like for the... No?
Plus. On midpoint, it's
Oh, plus! That's what I missed. Oh my
Alright.
gosh.
So, not 2 minus 1, it'll be 2 plus 1 over 2.
Dang it, after we do everything now?
That's fine, we'll do it real quick together. Alright, what's the second one gonna look like? So you had it right, you just need to change that minus to a
Yeah,
plus.
and the second one would be 8 plus 2.
Yep.
Over
8 plus
2.
Perfect. Alright, and then we gotta go through and calculate. 2 plus 1 is 3. I got 3 over 2. 8 plus
1.
2 is 10. I got 10 over 2. Which makes your final answer is gonna be what, Tiana? What's your final answer? What'd you get?
1.5.
So 1.5, and because x comma y comma 5. Like that. 1.5 comma 5. Alright, well, you guys got done with this way quicker than I thought you would. Nice job.
Now exit ticket.
Alright, your exit ticket. You're going to find the midpoint and distance between both of these, or between this point. So you're using the same points for both. So do it on your own. I will turn on Socrative. And you guys got lots of time for homework. Or if you're not sure about another assignment, like Ryan, I'll help you with that Monday stuff in a few minutes.
Because I'm still
It's a good day to get that done.
Yeah.